Hi, I'm Angela, and this is the ADHD experiment. This is my channel that I have been thinking about for a really long time. Um, and this is basically where I am going to share my journey with ADHD and the struggles that I've had, the solutions that I've come up with, systems that I've put in place to manage my ADHD, and overall my life, and how I juggle motherhood, being a wife, a business owner, and my enormous ADHD diagnosis. Actually, I texted my dad to see when I was diagnosed with ADHD. So let me see if he responded. He said, I believe it was the summer between 8th and ninth grade, maybe in 8th, maybe in ninth, but somewhere around then. So I was I was like 14 probably when I was diagnosed with ADHD. So I have been dealing with it for quite some time. I know a lot of people are being diagnosed as adults. When I was diagnosed with ADD because at that time they did not realize that the hyperactivity portion of ADD was also in women. So there used to be ADD and ADHD. And generally, boys were diagnosed with ADHD because the hyperactivity was more visible in boys. Now it has come to light that the hyperactivity in women is generally internal. So it's a lot of overthinking, it's a lot of fast thinking, it's a lot of just chaos up inside the brain. So that's kind of a nice validation, in my opinion, that we're not like, that is still hyperactivity is still a part of what, that we go through daily but it is in the brain. It's not, as physically noticeable. Again, my name is Angela. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed around age 14. And with this channel, my goal is to share my experiences, share my journey, particularly in the last year. In February of 2024, I made the huge life decision to leave the career that I was leading. I was doing really well. I was advancing. But one of the things I noticed as my oldest daughter entered grade school, which was the beginning of the school year last year, or the beginning of the last school year. So this was like August 2023. That my ADHD and the systems that I had put into place to manage that at that time were no longer effective. And they were starting to affect my daughter's performance in grade school. Prior to that, I was a working mom. We had daycare. Everybody, went their separate ways during the day. We did pick up around 6 p.m., dinner, bath time, etc. But with my eldest daughter being in kindergarten, it was kind of a really big eye-opener for me in what it was going to entail to make sure that she succeeded, particularly if she ends up having attention deficit disorder as well. She is not showing signs of it. I have two daughters, neither one of them are showing signs of ADHD. Neither one of them are struggling in school. However, I did want to have a lifestyle that would be conducive to that if it were to be a thing. As we all know, as most of us know, ADHD is genetic and can be passed down. So I wouldn't be surprised if one or both of my children end up having it. I do 100% believe, and my dad would agree, that he also had ADHD, but he was never diagnosed with it. I think from what I can tell now, he has like more of a minor in ADHD, but I do see it in him. And I look out for it because it's something that I look out for in myself. So it's also something that I look out for in others, so that if it is a big play in someone's life, that I can adjust accordingly. My professional career did develop in a human resources background, management background. So leading others has always been a big part of what I do. I enjoy teaching others. I enjoy connecting with people. And one of the biggest things that I've always lived by was that every person has to be managed differently. If you are a leader in whatever industry you're in. So making sure that I'm aware of any neurodivergent issues that they may be working with, and adjusting their plan, their work method, coming up with different ideas, helping them figure out how to best succeed in the role that they're playing without just like, oh, this isn't working, you gotta go, right? So it is something that I do keep a lookout for in most relationships that I have, because I struggle so much with ADHD and I have for so long. I understand how isolating it can be, and I understand how defeating it can be. So I just wanted to make sure in all of my relationships that that is not something anyone needs to be concerned about when it comes to me and their relationship with me as a friend, as a family member, as a manager, as a boss, human resources, whatever you want to choose to call it. I never wanted that disconnect to be an issue when it came to a working relationship with me. So, I do have my notebook, and I will most likely continue using my notebooks throughout my channel. I rely heavily on notebooks, note taking, and just really getting my thoughts physically out onto paper, and that really helps me. I know research shows getting your thoughts on paper, if research shows that it is effective, and I am here to say it is super effective when it comes to me and managing my ADHD. So at least for the time being, in the early stages of this channel, of this show, I will be referring to my notebook, and I'm not really shy about that, because my goal with this channel is to be 100% genuine. And I really truly mean that, because I feel like there's a lot of Pinterest themed like birthday parties. You go on Pinterest to get ideas and everything's pristine and everything's perfect, right? And my life is not like that. And I do not want to portray a life that is pristine or that is perfect. So today, in my introduction video, I did intentionally wear my hair up in a clip and wear very minimum makeup. I did put on mascara because generally if I will be filming, I will have mascara on. I have very blonde eyelashes, so if I don't wear a mascara, it just looks like they don't exist. However, I did not do blush, foundation, did not do my hair, because I really want this introduction video to be 100% genuine to me in my daily life. Generally, I don't wear a whole lot of makeup. Sometimes I will, particularly if I'm feeling unmotivated. Excuse me. particularly if I'm feeling unmotivated, I will do my hair and my makeup because it makes me more motivated to be productive throughout the day. One of the things I was most concerned about when I left my career back in February 2024 was staying accountable to myself. I have in the past let my ADHD run my life and spent weeks on end reading books, or rather than, facing my piles of laundry or decluttering my house, I would let that overwhelm control my life, and I would watch TV, I would binge a show, I would read. I'm an avid reader, and there was a point in my life when my husband worked on the road, actually, and it was just me here. We didn't have kids. He worked on the road, and I really only saw him on the weekends, not even every weekend. And I would dive into a book series or a book. I would read a book a day, and I would finish one and start the next one immediately. It became a problem. It became a problem. Not one of my finest moments, but it happened and I lived through it, and here we are. But I do want to stay 100% genuine, and I did intentionally give you a visual of Angela on a normal day, because you will see me with my hair done. You will see me with makeup on. You will see me looking like this. You will see me with no mascara on, honestly. But I did want to portray myself in a realistic way for my introduction video, because I do not want there to be any false hope as to what this is going to be, or false expectations as to what you're going to receive, because really what you're going to receive from this channel is me, my journey, my advice as far as life in general, including ADHD. And I just want to be, again, 100% genuine to any viewers I may accumulate, if any. Okay, full disclosure. I almost didn't do this video. I really didn't. And when I say that, I really, truly mean that. I have considered doing this video a billion times. It feels like you may not ever see the light of day of this video that I'm making today. This is probably the third time I've recorded it, and that is because I am so nervous. I'm so nervous to really put my story out there in the world that anybody can see at any time. But I really do think that this channel could benefit a lot of people, because I am in a situation in my life where I am able to really explore myself internally and really dive into an adult understanding of ADHD and coming up with systems for myself that makes sense in my life and in my home and with my family. And I'm hoping that some of my experiences can help others that don't have the extra time or the availability to dive into their neurodivergent mind and figure out what works best for them. One of the things that I'd like to accomplish is that you, as a viewer, can understand. I know we all dive into the rabbit holes and we deep dive and we go, what is ADHD? And then you're reading this and then another article. And by the time you're done, you have accumulated so much information in such a small amount of time that you don't even know where to start. Again, you're overwhelmed because you just took in all this information and it's all in here, and you know this could work, this could work, this could work, etc. But there was so much that you don't know where to start, right? And a lot of you guys are still working full time. A lot of you have families and homes to run in addition to working full time. And I also am working full time. However, I have shifted my life in a way that I am working when it is suitable to my family and my home. So if I need to get caught up on housework, I will take a week off from work in order to do that. And I do make my own schedule now, so I do have the flexibility to do that. If I'm doing a big project that I want to spend extra attention on, I schedule my work around that. I have been able to recognize the most productive days for me in my home, particularly Sunday and Monday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are my planning, execution, and implementation days, and that works best for me. So if I'm taking a job outside of the home, generally it's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes even Saturday or Sunday. So my hope is that through the information that I'm going to provide, through the experiences that I'm going to share, through the research that I'm going to do on this channel, that I am taking a task off of your list and helping you find solutions that help in your life by trying them on my end. I have, again, very bad ADHD. I can let my mind control my day in a really not great ways if I'm not very strategic and planned out. And it can be really disruptive to my whole family, not just myself. That being said, I was about to say and got sidetracked. Full disclosure, I was not going to film this video because I'm coming off of a cold. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm coming off of a cold or starting a new cold, or my cold is just like drug out, but there's a lot of things happening in my face right now, and I'm not sure if I sound stuffy or not, but we're just gonna go with it, because I know if I don't do this video today, I'm gonna lose my courage. It's gonna be another 6 weeks or however long before I get the courage to do it. And I have the first few months of this channel planned. So I would like to start on my anniversary month of my journey. So I do have a cold. Whether it's coming or going or just still here, I'm not sure. My daughter is home from school today because she had a cold settle in last night. Right after school, she fell asleep on the couch, which is just unheard of. But so she's home. She may burst into the office here at any time. My husband generally does not work nights, but he's working nights this week, which is fine. Except I'm pretty shy and nervous and was a little bit worried that, he would be like, "What are you doing, Angela? What are you doing down there?" But, you know what? Fuck it. Screw it. Because I'm doing it. I'm here. I'm filming this. I've got my microphone. It's working, which is either hit or miss, to be perfectly honest. And if I don't do it today, who knows when I'll actually get the nerve to do it again. So the plan is film today, edit tomorrow. I'm sorry. The plan was film yesterday, but again, my husband was home from work and I was like, man, I'm nervous, man. Also, the head cold situation was much worse yesterday. And now Scarlett's home, which is great, but hopefully she doesn't burst in. If she does, fine. Right? Fine, right? Again, I am looking at my notes because I'm a note lady, and if I don't have my notebook, you can probably just go ahead and assume my life is a mess. There are times that I think that I don't need my notebook, and these periods of times will last weeks where I'm like, oh, I don't need my notebook. I have ADHD, but I got this. Don't worry about it, right? But no, I need it because that's when I can see things spinning out of control. And just generally, it doesn't end great. So then at that point, I probably have lost my notebook. And I'm just writing notes on the back of envelopes, on the dry erase board in the kitchen, in various different notebooks that aren't my main notebook. And it just gets really hectic until the notebook turns up again. And that's when I'm really able to like settle in and work deeply. So I will be looking at my notes. Okay, so I am 1 year into my self journey, whatever you want to call it. Self-discovery journey, self-love journey, ADHD recovery journey. And I say recovery because I'm really starting to deep dive and implement ADHD strategies because I can. Again, I have the time to really do the research. I have the time to try different techniques and see what works best for me. And to be perfectly honest, when I was a teenager in high school and even college, even in my early 20s, I didn't think that I had ADHD, or I didn't think that ADHD was really such a negative impact on my life. And it's not. It's not. And it's not a negative impact. The problem that I had was that I wanted to be normal. I thought I was normal, and I thought I could do everything the way that everybody else was doing it and succeed. And I really had a hard time accepting the fact that I can't do it like everybody else does it. I need to do it in a way that works well for me, and that I can show the best parts of myself. And not the best parts of other people, right? So if I do it the way Jane Doe does it, it's getting done, but it's not getting done to the level that it could be if I did it the way that works best for me. I'm very creative. I'm very smart. I'm very easy to teach. I'm very easy to learn. But if I don't do it in a way that works for me, it's just mediocre work, right? So this is my story. So about a year ago, on February 21st, it will be my birthday. I decided to make a big change in my life. I decided I was going to leave my career and open my own business as a professional organizer. And you may think, as somebody with ADHD, being a professional organizer may not be the best fit, but I am the type of person that if I am bad at doing something, or if I am nervous about doing something, like this video, for instance, I fret on it for a really long time. I think about it. I do a lot of research. There's like a lot of thoughts going on in my head. And then all of a sudden, bam, I'm doing it. And that's what I did. So, let's see. In November 2023, I opened a side business as a professional organizer to make some extra money for the family. Inflations were happening, and I, could use some extra money. So I opened my little side business, and it went really well. And when you're doing something that you're getting paid to do, it's been my experience that I do a really good job. I want to be very valued to the people I'm working for. I want to show the best production of what I'm doing. So if somebody is paying me to work in their home, I am one, doing it as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible, and doing it really well. So that's one of the things I learned about myself during that time. During the many years of having ADHD, knowingly having ADHD, I am very good at organizing. The problem that I've always had is remembering that, yeah, I can organize it, but it's not going to stay organized unless I implement a maintenance plan. And I really did not wrap my head around that until probably a couple of years ago, because I would get so frustrated with myself. I'm like, I spent an entire day organizing this room, top to bottom. Everything is pristine. But then we live in those spaces, and then 2 years later, I'm like, why is this closet so messy? I organized it 2 years ago. Well, because, Angela, it needs to be maintained, right? For some reason, that never dawned on me. So I would get really frustrated with myself. I'm not good at this, da 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 da. Again, if I fear something, if I struggle in an area, I deep dive into it. So again, I started my business. Things were going really well. I also am an artist. I'd say quotes, I am an artist. People really do enjoy what I do. However, I downplay what I do because I can't sit down and sketch a portrait or do a portrait on a painting. I can't do that. However, I am very creative, and I can, for other people, do portraits that are already made and then transfer them. What I do is called pyrography. And I basically burn art into pieces of wood. We can dive into that a different day. That's fine. But that's also something that I find very therapeutic. I'm very good at it. And I enjoy sharing that with others because I get such a joyful feeling from doing it. So I do like to share that feeling with other people. So right now I am running 2 small businesses. One is professional organizing full-time. 2 is my art business where I do sell online, and then I occasionally do some markets. Like I did some like holiday markets over the holiday break, and then, a couple markets over the summer. But again, I'm only a year into both of these. I launched both of these businesses immediately after I left my 9 to 5. And surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but also surprisingly, they have both done really well. Better than I even expected. I told my husband and I sat down before we made this decision. We went over our budget. We're going to give it 3 months to see if it's going to be conducive, because ultimately we had to decide if I was going to need to find childcare, after school childcare and daycare for my little ones during summer break. So that was pretty much my timeline. I had to figure out, am I going to be able to do this, or do I need to find a job before summer? Like, do I need to go back into the workforce before or after summer break? So everything's been going great, actually. So that's awesome. So basically, I'd like this channel to be my journey again, and how I opened 2 businesses. We'll dive into those on separate episodes or days. I'm very new to the YouTube podcast world, so I'm gonna mess up. Please feel free to leave tips and tricks and advice in the comments, because when it comes to this, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm diving in. So here we are. Okay, looking at my notebook again, I'm going to reiterate because I don't want anyone to think I'm reading a script here. I'm reading bullet points because I have ADHD, and if I don't have my notebook, I'll forget to tell you all the important good stuff. Okay, 1 year into my journey, procrastinating, we talked about that. Da, da, da. Okay. Again, as someone with ADHD, I have lots of ideas. There was a point over the summer I thought that I was going to redo furniture as one of my businesses. Turns out, not my strong suit, at least not at this time. The kids were home from school on summer break. It was just kind of chaotic to try to implement that, as well as the pyrography. I wasn't doing a whole lot of organizing during the summer, obviously, because my kids were home. So I was trying to be as productive as I could, either on the weekends or on the pyrography side of my business. So the last year has been spent building those two businesses and having my presence in different areas for those businesses. And now that I have them kind of floating on their own, I am excited to start this channel and share what I've learned, share pretty much a lot of facets of my life, whether it be professional organizing, art, days in the life, those sort of things, because I am just a normal person. And I think one of the things that I always struggled with was not realizing that the people that I'm viewing doing the tutorials on YouTube, doing the cleaning videos, I love watching cleaning videos on YouTube, that they're just normal people. But because I was viewing them from my couch, there was some sort of disconnect, and that's why I want to be 100% genuine to myself, because I don't want to mislead anybody. I am messy. I am chaotic. I overthink everything. I get super nervous. I am shy. I'm outgoing. There's a lot of things that make up me, and I don't want to mislead anybody thinking that I've got it all together, because I certainly do not. However, again, I have been blessed with the opportunity to explore what works for me and what works for my family, and hopefully put time into experimenting for you guys, so that you can see, okay, well, I'm like her in this area, so this may be a good idea, or this may be a good idea, or a bad idea, because I have had a lot of fails, and failing is how you learn. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's very defeating, it can be discouraging, but at the end of the day, failing is how you learn. Hold on, I think my daughter's coming in. What are you doing? Don't play with that. Do you need me? What? I forgot what you were going to say because I took you. Well, you didn't knock or come in. That's all. How do you feel? I want to do this to make the show. Let me feel your head. A little bit from the back. Alright, I'm going to be done soon and I'll come out, okay? My kiddo needed mama. Poor thing. My kids get high fevers. My husband had high fevers as a kid. And so when they get sick, they feel like poo. I feel so bad. When I get sick, it's annoying, right? But when they get sick, it's like, dang. Yeah, so that is my plan, is to do some experiments and share my stories so that you guys don't have to put so much legwork into your research and finding what works for you. Um, I have on my notes to show my notebook. However, I'm going to wait and do like a whole video on it because it is full. It's a full notebook. And I actually went out yesterday to replace it because it is full. So I've already dove into the new one. And I wanted to go over my notebook with you guys on a separate video because as I was like taking my notes for this episode, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is kind of like a journal. Like I would look at my lists or my ideas, you know, like I have grocery lists, I have to-do lists, I have, if I'm really overwhelmed in a day, I will schedule out the time I'm going to vacuum. Right, 1 o'clock, vacuum the living room. 1:15, vacuum the bedrooms. Right, so, but as I was like kind of like doing my research for this episode, I was like, dang, I should do a whole video because this one is full. I'm coming up on my birthday, and it would be like kind of fun to like kind of like pinpoint like some of the big turning points in my business and kind of where I struggle, kind of ideas that I have that either worked or didn't work. And so I decided to wait. I'm not going to do anything in my notebook with you now because I kind of want to go through it together. It's going to be fun. And like I said, I kind of did a journal without realizing it. I'm not like a Dear Diary type of person. However, reading some of these things really brought up like kind of what I was feeling during those times. It was a little nostalgic, so that was cool. So here's the thing. This is my channel, the ADHD Experiment, where I'm going to share what I've already experimented, different projects that I have planned or will, you know, just come up organically. I am going to share tips and tricks and hacks that I've learned along the way. Again, I have been diagnosed with ADHD since I was 14. So, you know, I've always been trying to figure that out when I wasn't boycotting the idea, that is. So here is where I'm going to kind of share that journey and share all of that with you guys so that it can hopefully make your journey a little less stressful than mine was, because mine got real hairy there at the end. Life was crazy. Nobody was getting the best of me. My profession wasn't. My children weren't. My husband definitely was not getting the best of me. He was getting the whatever was left over every single day, which wasn't a whole lot, if we're being perfectly honest. Kudos to him for not divorcing me during that time, because it got out of hand. Again, we'll do another video about that one day, but he's a saint. My husband is a saint. But I'm also a saint because, you know what? He's got his flaws. And I feel like we work together and we work them out and it's fine. But like, yeah, he really is a saint. So, why am I here? My hopes is to help you. My hopes is to create a community that is safe for people to ask questions, explore themselves, explore their neurodivergent tendencies, that sort of thing. So hopefully it is a beneficial resource for others. I would like to be a beneficial resource for others. And I think I've always wanted to be a beneficial resource for others, except I wasn't really sure which route I was going to take. So, and then yes, so one of the things I'd like you to do is ask for tips, hacks, anything that I've tried, anything you want me to try, that sort of thing, because I'm just kind of rolling with the punches. Right now, my early videos will be, you know, I've asked ChatGPT, what are 15 questions that people have about their neurodivergent minds? And that's basically kind of like what I'm using as a guideline at this time, because I have questions that I've had in the past, but maybe they're not the same as yours. Maybe maybe it's different, So there's going to be a combination of things that I think you need to know and things that you guys special request. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So that's what this channel is going to be. Just basically a channel about me, my life, my ADHD, and my experiences and my journey in hopes that I can, have a community of people who get it. Because, like I said at some point earlier in this video, I have many times felt isolated, felt weird, like, felt annoying. Like, there are times when I know I'm being annoying and I can't help it. And I think it would be really cool to have a group of people that know exactly what I'm talking about, who can watch my videos and watch me jump from topic to topic or get sidetracked here or sidetracked there and know exactly what's happening in my brain. And they're not like, what, why did you bring that up? So that is my goal, is to be a resource for people, but also to make like a community of people who get me and who can feel safe to come here and know that I'll get you. Because at the end of the day, we are who we are. And I think we need to embrace it. And that's one of the things that took me a really long time to realize. We need to embrace this because honestly, we are the bomb. Like, we have really good ideas. The problem is, sometimes we forget what those ideas are, right? We don't write it down. It's gone in an instant. I've had great ideas. I have no idea what they are, but I knew in that moment that it was going to be killer. But I didn't write it down because I was like, oh, I don't need to write it down because I'm normal and I don't need to write it down. I'm just going to remember because it was so good. I'm just going to remember. Nah. Not me. So I'll stop talking your ear off. I have another video scheduled for Friday. So this one is going to be published hopefully on Wednesday if I get the courage to actually do it. So this one will be Wednesday, and I have one planned for Friday and then one also planned for Sunday. I think I am going to start off with 3 videos per week and see how I can manage that. And I'm going to take you deep dive into my life, my home life, not much of my family life, I don't think. We got to play that by ear, but I don't know how much I'm going to expose my family or my kids. Probably not a lot. But I'll tell you about what's going on in our lives. It's just, I got to protect my babies, right? And maybe we'll do some organizing jobs together, like a day in the life on a working day when I'm going to a client's house, or wood burn with me, because that shit takes forever. It takes a really long time to wood burn a project, and as therapeutic as it can be, it can also be kind of boring, right? Sometimes I'll have an audiobook or a podcast playing and the music playing just to drown out my thoughts, so I'm not like thinking too much. But I can't wait to share my wood burning with you because I just love it. I love it. And if you have ADHD or neurodivergent tendencies, I highly recommend getting something that is a hobby that is therapeutic for you. Because I can sit down and hyper focus in big ways when I'm doing wood burning or organizing. That's one of the benefits of ADHD with professional organizing, is we are bomb at hyper focus. It's like a puzzle. You take it all out, you clean the area, you put it all away, help people declutter, help people get rid of their, junk they've accumulated. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to help people. And that's really what I want to do here. I want to help people, and I want to encourage people, and I want people to know that you're not alone. I have lots of people I follow that, like on Instagram, Facebook, and stuff, that specialize in ADHD, and they look like they got it all together. But here, you're going to see, I don't have it all together, but I'm trying, and it's been working. So hopefully, you know, we can all kind of have like a support page here over on the ADHD experiment. So anyway, nice to meet you all. I'm sorry I talked your ears off, but I hope that we have a really productive channel here, and I'm really excited to get to know you. So have a great day. I'm going to go give my kids some medicine because their fever's coming back, and drink the rest of my coffee. I might have to heat it up, but yeah. Ooh, I'm so excited. I can't believe I did this. Ha! Anyway, okay, I'm going. Bye.